What's going on, everyone? Welcome into NFL podcast number one on my channel. I am your host, Thomas Coltrain. I'm joined here today from the other side of the world. My friend Clay Becker is broadcasting to you live from Korea. Clay, say what's up.
What's going on, guys? Nice to
Oh,
be on.
yes, sir. Do you want to tell? Yeah, why don't you give us a little background about yourself, just a little bit?
5.5 years in the Army. I am married with a 2.5-year-old, about to be three. Soon to get out of the Army and then hopefully go into coaching.
Oh yeah,
Would love to be a high school coach for football, of course.
I could see
Possibly
it.
make it up to college. Yeah, it'd be a nice thing to do.
You got to start somewhere, though.
Yeah, always do.
Honestly, I could see you being a good coach, though.
Right? I know. That's what everyone keeps telling me.
Yeah. All right, I'll let you kick it off. What's the schedule looking like for today? What are we gonna be hitting on?
Today's segments will be NFL news, big roster changes, and then we'll try to delve into playoff teams, teams that made it last year who probably, or we think, will not make it this year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. I'll let you take the wheel. We're starting off with the NFL news. What you got for me, for the people?
NFL news. Some of this might be a little bit older, but it should be all within the week. Starting off, Deshaun Watson has a 23rd civil lawsuit coming out against him. So we'll have to see what goes with that. Will he play? Won't he play? That is the big question in the air. Um, we've been told that Aaron Donald is at peace if he does not reach a new deal with the LA Rams. He's okay with retiring. The new Commanders, new team, they're trying to find a new stadium, and it's possible that the new proposed stadium would be the smallest in the NFL. Jerry Judy will not be charged criminally, which is, I guess, good for him.
What was he being charged with?
He was being charged with assault, so we'll have to see if the NFL has anything with policies that they're going to do to see if he's going to be charged civilly or if they're even going to make him, sit out for some of the season. We'll have to see on that. For the rest of the news, in a more somber tone, Jeff Gladway, unfortunately, has passed away at the age of 25 due to a car accident. The former first-round pick for the Cardinals, was playing with the Vikings. John Madden will be on the new cover of Madden 23. Colin Kaepernick got a new deal with the Raiders. We'll have to see how that works out.
Did he actually?
He did get signed from what I saw. Looks like
Huh.
it's going to be like a 2 or 3 year deal.
Good for him.
Marion Barber, on another somber note, was also found dead today in his apartment at the age of 38. We have no details on that so far, whether foul play was involved.
I actually did look into that a little bit more. I have the same information as you. They haven't released the cause of death, but I did pick up that the police were called for like a health and wellness check. So probably like somebody hadn't heard from him in a while, and they went and checked, and they when they arrived, they found him deceased.
Tragic news, seeing someone like him, former running back for the Dallas Cowboys, pass away at such a young
Young
age.
too, yeah.
Baker Mayfield could be released under the right circumstances, depending on how the Browns want to do that, or he could still be traded. Teams are looking at him right now, from what we know, are the Saints, the Seahawks, and possibly Pittsburgh. They might be tossed in the mix. I'd keep them as a dark horse right now. The problem is that the team, they just don't want to take on $18 million worth of salary for a quarterback that's on the end of his.
I was gonna roll that right. That was my next question. I was like, hey, what's that cap hit gonna be like if they just off and release him, you know?
I think the cap hit might be around $5 to $6 million against the Browns, but if he's actually traded, it will be $18 million that the team has to pick up. We'll see how that splits. The Browns might pay half of that if he gets traded.
Yeah. What do you expect to happen there? My bad.
Oh no, you're good. I know. I don't.
Oh, I
know
know,
what
I
else
know.
could
You're
happen
the,
there.
you're the residential Browns fan. So whenever I've got Browns
Yes.
news, whenever I've got anything, I know just a little bit more of the nitty gritty. You think they're gonna keep
Other
him? You
news.
think he's gonna wind up going somewhere else or what?
I don't know what they're going to do with him. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to play out. Baker might end up staying on the team for the last bit of his contract and then free agency, but it'd always be nice to see if you can get a trade package, a deal put inside there so that way you're not letting money walk free.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Other news and Browns news, the defense will be heading to Miami. Myles Garrett has said they'll be heading down there for training and team bonding as well.
Team bonding.
Yes. Earlier in the offseason, Deshaun Watson took the entire offense minus Baker Mayfield. He took them out, I believe it was close to the Bahamas. They spent about a week down there with team bonding and doing drills, such as stuff like that.
So it looks like all things are pointing towards Deshaun Watson being the starter in Cleveland.
That it would be the hope. Cleveland is paying him a guaranteed contract, so we'll have to see if he ends up getting any disciplinary action from the NFL or not. And if he does, how long it will be. Will it be like Trevor Bauer and be 2 years, or could it just be a few games?
I mean, and that's what kind of makes me ponder. You've got Baker Mayfield. He was by no means a bad quarterback, and
No.
and you're just ready to let him go. Like, let's say that Deshaun Watson isn't ready to go, then who are you gonna turn to?
You either have Jacoby Brissett or you have Josh Dobbs. Those are your two backups at this point in time. Baker Mayfield probably won't see the field this year if he stays with the Browns. They'll either hold out or the Browns just won't play him.
I hope to see him go somewhere else. I noticed you said landing spots were the Saints, the Steelers, or the Seahawks, right?
Panthers also could be
Yeah,
included
yeah.
inside that.
That's what I was thinking because the Panthers they don't have a good quarterback down there, and they've got all the surrounding pieces. I mean, you still got Christian McCaffrey and that all outstanding offense, but you don't really have anybody at the helm. I mean, maybe Baker Mayfield steps in and helps them out a little bit.
He definitely could. It's also going to be strange to see how he comes off of his injuries that he suffered towards the end of the season. He had a knee contusion, a torn labrum in his throwing arm. He was wearing that sling. Really gave him problems whenever he tried to throw.
Yeah, he was playing through that torn labrum. I remember that.
I don't know how he did it.
Hmm. What else we got? Moving on from the Browns,
Big roster changes. As far as the offseason goes, I'm sure most of you already know these, but the Broncos traded for Russell Wilson. That was probably the second biggest roster change so far, other than the Deshaun Watson trade.
Hey, I got a good footnote here for you. The Broncos season opener is Monday Night Football back in Seattle.
Oh, that's going to be a great matchup to watch. Actually, I'm gonna have to turn that on. That's gonna be really fun to watch.
I mean, if they get Baker Mayfield, because Seattle doesn't have much really going for them right now,
No, they really don't. They really don't have anyone at the helm over there either, as far as the offense goes. They're really gonna have to figure something out. I don't know what they're gonna do.
Do you trust Russ in Denver? Like, is that a good fit? What do you think?
Yes and no. The offense is built mainly for a downhill running game, and I think he can definitely give some spark to that offense, a new life to it. He's got all the pieces around him. He's got two good running backs. He's got Jerry Jeudy out there. And then, there's some supporting pieces around there as well. Offensive line might not be as good as he wants it to be, but it's definitely better than anything Seattle could have given him.
For sure. I definitely agree. I think it'll work out because as everyone is saying, the general consensus is that the Broncos were just one good quarterback away from going deep. And I mean, you've seen it going all the way back to Trevor Siemian. Like, they'll piece together some nice looking segments and some nice looking offensive drives, but it's never been all quite there. And I mean, come on, it's Russell Wilson,
It's Russell Wilson. And the last time we saw a good quarterback go to Denver was when we saw Peyton Manning go over there, and he did win a Super Bowl for him. And they didn't have the most outstanding offense at the time, but he was able to basically put the team at a higher pedestal and be able to push them through to the playoffs and then also to the Super Bowl.
I mean, yeah, he came in and ran the offense, and I mean, it is Russell Wilson. They weren't letting Russ cook in Seattle, so maybe they'll let him cook in Denver.
That would be the hope. We'll also have to see how the altitude affects him up there because it's going to be a lot different than playing in Seattle.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Next big move was the Colts traded for Matt Ryan. We're going to have to see what happens. I know your guy. So go ahead and fill us in a little bit. Do you think this is going to be a good move for the Colts, or do you think this is a career-ending move? Do you think this is
Look,
him on his last leg, just trying to stay afloat?
look, I'm calling it right now. All the naysayers, all the haters out there, all the people that were out here talking about we need to get rid of Matt Ryan, the Falcons, he's washed up, he's trash, he's throwing all these picks. He's going to show up with the Colts and he's going to take the reins of that offense and he's going to shut everybody up. Personally, also, he doesn't have to do that much. The Colts were the number two rushing offense in the league last year. Jonathan Taylor was the number one running back. He had the most touchdowns by at least six. And I'm telling you,
He
look,
was a big help.
he was a huge help. And look at Matt Ryan's look at his resume. When he has a strong running game, when he's able to flare out and hit the play action, and when he has good game management through the running game, through time management, clock management, all of that, he's got a very solid team around him. The Colts, really their only missing piece from last year was a solid quarterback, I would say, and I think their defense left something to be desired. But I think with Matt Ryan in there, they're loaded up and they're loaded up to go and win now. Like I don't think they're trying to build and slow roll it. They're trying to win right now. And then also on the Colts, you've got backup Nick Foles. Hey man, I'm all for Matt Ryan, but if he can't get it done, I mean, Nick Foles has shown that I'm honestly I'm sad he's a backup. He's not a
As am
backup,
I.
bro. Like he's
No,
not a
he's
backup
very good.
quarterback. But yeah,
He's
my
a very
take,
good
man, I think the
quarterback.
Colts are forced to be reckoned with in the AFC.
Now, playing devil's advocate here, there's two other times we've seen this with the Colts.
Hmm.
They did sign on Carson Wentz last year, and everyone thinks that Carson Wentz is a starting quarterback. At least most people do. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to deliver against a horrendous Jaguars team. Not just defense, but team overall. And they fell out of the playoffs due to a loss against the Jags last game of the season. And that just goes to show you that you really do need a good quarterback at the helms. We also had Phillip Rivers over there. Phillip Rivers, another veteran quarterback, seemed like maybe he could resurrect his career moving from one place to another. However, he went over to the Colts and he did not play up to expectations. So let's hope that Matt Ryan can actually deliver on these expectations that have been given to him.
He's got it, bro. It's Matty Ice out there, man.
Yes, it is. Let's see, what else do we have? The Steelers signed Mitchell Trubisky. They're thinking that he's probably going to be the starter for now. We'll see what plays out with that. I'm sure he has it for now, but
I haven't had a
it could
chance to
always
go
change.
and look at any of the OTAs, but I did hear yesterday that Mike Tomlin that's his guy. Like Mitchell Trubisky is going to be the guy in Pittsburgh.
I really think he was held back in Chicago as far as coaching wise and scheming wise. If you look at any of the plays that he had to run, they kept him to maybe a 5 to 15 yard minimum passing. And even when they did try to go over the top, it was a single guy running a post route. He was running a flag route. He was running a streak. And there was always double, triple coverage. And all he could do was dump the ball down the flat. It
Right.
was just bad. Poor play design, poor execution. And he was always behind that god awful offensive line.
I mean, I agree with you for sure. It took me. I had to, maybe take a step back because Mitchell Trubisky gets a very bad rep, and that's why I say I want to go back and watch his film because I was kind of writing the Steelers off. The tragic passing of Dwayne Haskins. They lost their projected
Of course,
QB1,
yes.
but Mitchell Trubisky comes in, and I'm thinking, all right, the Steelers are just, they're packing it up. They're just gonna contend. That's about it. But I think maybe they can see what they can get with Mitchell Trubisky. See if he can provide.
They do have a chance at taking well, not taking, but at least coming in second in the AFC North, depending on how the Browns play out, and obviously the Ravens as well, knowing that Lamar Jackson still hasn't reached an extension with the Ravens. So we'll have to see what
Right.
happens with that one as well. Moving on, the Falcons signed Marcus Mariota.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if that's going to be a good signing or a bad signing. I'm not entirely sure. Marcus played pretty well when he was playing as a starter for Tennessee. Obviously, he didn't have a lot of offensive pieces around him at the time. Derrick Henry isn't who he is today. So we'll have to see stepping in there if he can turn that offense around or if it's just going to be another filler quarterback such as a Tyrod Taylor until they can find their piece.
I mean, I'll tell you from being, on the inside as a Falcons fan, paying close attention and whatnot. I don't see it happening. Like Mariota, I love him. I think he's going to play well, but it doesn't seem like the front office is on the same page because there is a lack of depth all around that offense. Personally, I'm gonna go ahead and condemn the wide receiver core. I pray that they prove me wrong and that I'm eating my words later on. But who's he gonna throw the ball to? You know?
And so Cordell Patterson's the only person they have, but he
Look,
can't play running back.
I'm sorry, but Cordell Patterson needs to stop playing running back. Like, yes, he's good, and he can, like, he's great. He's a great player. I'm not saying get rid of him on the team. I'm saying get an actual running back so that you can use him at wide receiver.
Yeah, you could use him for a lot more trick plays if you really wanted to. I don't know why they ever tried to make that move.
He's not a bad runner, but he's not a running back.
No, he is not. He is not. Also, speaking of Tyrod Taylor, the Giants have signed Tyrod Taylor.
They did?
So we'll have to. They did sign Tyrod Taylor. I'm assuming as a backup. I'm not really sure. Daniel Jones, this is his last year on the contract, and they are not picking up his extension after this. They have already said that. So he knows he's gone after this. So this might be Daniel Jones's last time to actually make an impression with other teams.
Huh.
So we'll have to see what happens there. Tyrod Taylor, again, another great filler quarterback. Played well for Houston until he got hurt. Davis Mills, who knows? I mean, he could be the next quarterback for Houston.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop you right there, man. Don't even bring that trash over here. Houston is in a rebuild.
Oh, well, they're in a really tough rebuild right now. Oh, it's bad down there. It's really, really bad.
Who knows? Maybe Davis Mills will do it. I don't know.
We'll have to see. I don't know what Davis Mills is going to do. He looked good at the end of the season. Some garbage time plays, he looked pretty well. We're going to have to see. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Big trade. Marquise Brown was traded to the Cardinals during the draft. And I'm sure that Dallas is kicking themselves right now because they saw what Marquise Brown went for. He went for a second, whereas they traded their star wide receiver, Amari Cooper, for a fourth.
Oh, yeah. I was surprised to see the Ravens let him go. And
I was too.
They didn't really draft a big receiver in the draft either.
They were really, I don't know what they were thinking in doing that, especially because Lamar Jackson seems to really like that guy, like playing with him. And he was very sad to see him go. I guess they didn't discuss that with Lamar, which tells you where he stands as far as GM goes. You have your great quarterbacks who are in there with the GM telling them, or asking them rather, can we get this guy? Can we do this? Can we do that? Right. Usually the GM listens, but for the Ravens, it seems as though they just don't listen to him at all right now.
Well, I mean, maybe the writing's on the wall. I sure hope not. I want to see them thrive. I want to see Lamar Jackson thrive, but
I would like to see that too. Just hopefully the Ravens don't do too well. I need the Browns to step it up just a little bit. Be nice to see for once.
All right, what else you got for me?
I got some more big trades here too that happened. Khalil Mack got traded to the Chargers. That Chargers defense was already a monster, and now they just add another piece to it. And my God, it's going to be a bloodbath whoever they play. Their front line is just massive. They are going to be able to really wreak some havoc in the backfield with Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa on the opposite side. It'll be fun to watch.
Definitely fun to watch.
Let's see what else do we have. A.J. Brown was traded to the Eagles during the draft as well, and then they drafted his replacement right after that. So now the Titans have lost A.J. Brown and Julio Jones because Julio Jones is a free agency right now. So all they really have is a free agent or a rookie wide receiver and Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry, and that's about it. I don't know how that's really going to pan together. They might not see the playoffs this year.
The way I see the Titans is they're like that. They're like a paper mache type deal of the Titans. Like they still look mean and bad, but they're hollow. There might be some cracks starting to form. Like they still have enough pieces from the past to get them going, but I don't know, man. If the cracks in that armor start to show, I'm right there with you. I think I think right now everyone has them as a shoo-in for the playoffs, and I mean they're gonna have to play down the stretch, and we're gonna see what exactly they're actually made of.
And we really will see how tough they actually are without their star players. We'll also see how well they actually do with drafting with this new rookie wide receiver. We'll have to see how well he actually plays. Speaking of receivers, the Dolphins traded for Tyreek Hill from the Kansas City
Cheetah,
Chiefs.
baby, cheetah.
I don't know how this is going to work out considering their quarterback is not quite good at throwing the ball downfield. We'll just have to see if
What?
he can actually get it to him.
Tua? What?
Tua is very inaccurate downfield, and he showed that down the stretch towards the end of those games when they
No,
were
not
trying to
my
come into the
man,
playoffs.
bro.
Tua is going to be a tough read this year at quarterback. It's going to be weird to see how he does, whether he's going to be able to bounce back from this past season or whether or not he's just going to keep taking this nosedive that he took towards the end of the season. I don't know how this is going to work.
Definitely
We'll
make or
have to
break
see.
time for Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh, 100%.
Definitely make or break time.
Yeah, this is his job to lose, so he's got to play like someone lit a fire underneath his butt. Another receiver traded, Devontae Adams to the Raiders. He did play with David Carr back in college. They do already have a connection. And it's going to be really strange seeing this new look Packers without Devontae Adams. Who's he going to throw the ball to? Because he can't throw the ball to himself, and there's not many other receivers out there that the Packers have.
Yeah, the discount double check will find a way, man.
He always seems to be able to do that. Whether or not they lose their first 4 games or not, he usually seems to be able to get back on track and keep moving forward. We'll see how he deals with that. Von Miller to the Bills. Again, another scary defense that just got scarier with Von Miller on the outside. I hope he can keep up with what he was doing before, when he was playing before. But he might have lost an edge. He might have lost a step. We'll just have to see how he
I expect
handles
him to
being
produce.
in Buffalo.
I expect him to produce. I think that yes, he's getting older, and even if he has lost a step, he's still Von Miller.
He is still Von Miller, and he's still scary to play against. The older you get, you start losing that step. You start getting a little bit slower. He's going to have to find some new creative ways to get in the backfield.
He's got the football IQ to still influence games, and I still love him. He's a great player.
He's an amazing player. He's so much fun to watch. Anywhere he plays is great. We did bring this up earlier. Amari Cooper was traded to the Browns from Dallas for a 4th-round pick. I don't really see, other than freeing up cap space for Dallas, as to why to do that. I don't know why other teams didn't jump on this. There may be something that we don't know, considering he did have that ankle injury last year. Maybe he's not fully healed. But the Browns got him for very, very cheap as far as trade goes. He still has that $20 million cap hit, though.
Sure.
Allen Robinson has been traded to the Rams. The Rams just seem to reload at this point. It's not even rebuild, it's reload. So every time they lose a piece, they just bring another one in and keep chugging along.
Hey, I like him. I'm happy for Matt Stafford. I'm a big Matt Stafford fan, man.
I've always loved Matt Stafford. I was always hoping that he'd eventually get to the Super Bowl. It is sad to see the dismal state that the Lions are in, but thank God he got out over there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He deserved that ring. He definitely deserved that ring.
Oh, 100%. He really did. He's put his body on the line way too many times to not win one at this point.
His rookie game, his shoulder came out, man.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers returned to the Packers. That's wild to me. I thought he was done. He was going to go host Jeopardy. I figured that was the next line,
Come on, man. You can't keep Aaron Rodgers away from football.
He kept saying he was going to leave, but I guess not. In the last big roster move I have that everyone obviously saw was that Tom Brady retired and then unretired. I guess he just loves the game too much. He retired for a little bit. It was off season. Maybe he just missed being there. I don't know, but he is unretired and playing for the Bucs yet again.
That man sat down for one day. One day.
And I hate this.
First 5 minutes into retirement, and he was like, "Nah, I gotta get back in there.
I need more stuff to do." Yeah, he's I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't like being at home with the kids or something. I don't know. He's just out and about all the time.
I think it's probably that itch, man. That itch probably got him.
Well, after you play for 20 plus years, I'm sure that there is an itch for him. He's probably going to end up being a pretty good coach when he gets out as well. So we'll have
I
to
think
see
he
what
signed a
happens with
deal. I
that
think he
one.
signed a deal with like Fox Sports
He
or somebody to
did.
be
That's
a
right.
yeah, like a preemptive deal, and then he was like, "No, I'm
Yeah.
good."
I will have to see if that deal stands or not. I'm not sure if it will or won't.
I'm sure they wanted to.
I'm sure that they want to keep him as well.
All right, so
Last
we're
thing
gonna. Oh, what you got? What you got?
is playoff teams.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was about to say. You want to get? Should we get move into the playoff segment?
Yeah, we certainly should.
Now, are we covering
But
just AFC today, or are we doing AFC and NFC?
we can cover just AFC today. That's definitely okay by me.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Honestly, nah. Let's hit them both. Let's hit them both. We'll start with the AFC though.
Okay. As far as the AFC goes, the AFC teams that were in the playoffs last year were the Titans, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Bengals, the Raiders, the Patriots, and the Steelers.
Yes,
Out of those
sir.
teams, who do you think will not make it?
Okay. I mean, we'll go straight down the list. The Titans. A little bit worried about the Titans, man. A little bit worried there. That's my first asterisk. Kansas City, I got them as a shoe-in. They're going. The
Yep.
Bills. The Bills have, I think, the most complete roster in the NFL right now. So I'm not gonna have them winning it, but they might win it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think they'll definitely make it in the playoffs. As far as complete roster, I'd have to take the Rams on that one.
Okay, I can give you that. I can give you that. I'm still rocking with the Bills though, man. I think they were nasty last year. They didn't have to do too much to get better. They're nasty again this year.
That is true.
Rolling right through though, I got the Bengals staying in. I think they're gonna continue that momentum, carry that momentum over from the last season. They've got a lot of young
That's
guys, and that's
that's
easy.
one for me.
Yeah, you
I
just roll up.
that's one for me that I'm on the fence about. If you look at
Really?
last year, I mean, Cleveland honestly did not play that well last year, and both times that Cleveland played the Bengals, they beat them, and they beat them home and away. Uh, they're a team that when they show up, it seems to me they almost drop to their opponent's competition rather than play above it. And that's obviously because they're still a young team. You still got Joe Burrow, who, mind you, was in his second year last year. However, he missed most of his first year with that ACL injury. Jamar Chase, still a young wide receiver, still trying to figure things out as far as he goes. And then you have the running back. You've got some older guys back there like Joe Mixon. And if you don't find someone who can replace them soon, that they might not have a running game. As far as the O-line goes, they did help out a bit in the draft. They did pick up some new pieces. But as with every rookie, you do have to see where they stand in the preseason. So we'll see how they can go from there. But the Bengals, I do not have as a shoe, and I have them with an asterisk just because I have that feeling, you know.
Huh. I don't know, man. I think on the other side of what you're saying, I think they're gonna come back stronger. I think they're gonna take everything from last year, and I think they're gonna roll up. Especially you've got a lot of young guys. You do have the age starting to show in Joe Mixon in the backfield, but I think you've got a lot of young talent that can come together and develop, at the same rate, at very high rates. So I think they'll go, but we can disagree. That's all right.
Don't
Moving
forget
on.
also that they have to play against the Ravens twice, the Steelers twice, and the Browns twice, in arguably the hardest division in all of football, the AFC North.
I don't know, man. I see them getting it done.
And they certainly could. They could come out and they could sucker punch everyone that they run into in the AFC North. But I think it's going to be a fist fight to see who comes out on top over there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I left the Raiders in, and then oh man, people gonna call me crazy for this. I actually the three teams I'm dropping out. I'm dropping out the Titans. I'm dropping out the Patriots, and I'm dropping out the Steelers. I'm dropping out the Titans for the Colts. I think the
Okay.
Colts the Colts are in a win now situation. They get Matt Ryan there. I mean, they know what they want. They know what they're going for. I think the Titans are showing some weakness, and I think a hungry Colts team may be able to knock them out. For the Patriots, I it's hard to take the Patriots out of the playoffs, man. I mean, Bill Belichick has just been doing that. He's just been running that for forever. But I think the Dolphins. I think this is the Dolphins' year, man. And then you're gonna like this one. I dropped the Steelers out for the Browns.
I do like that. I think that's a good pick. I really do.
Of course, the
I would
resident
have to
Browns
agree with you
fan
on
thinks that that's a
that.
great pick.
It's a great pick. Put your money on it. As
Yeah.
far as I go,
For the most part, yeah.
yeah.
Did you what else? I know we weren't gonna agree on all of those. What's your take on the AFC situation?
So the AFC situation, I got to agree with you on the Titans. The Titans do look like as though they might not be able to make the playoffs. They're also in a very hard division. I think the Colts can take that division. They do play twice a year, and the Colts have been called the Titan Killers before. They
Mm,
did it 2 years ago where they beat them both games. Obviously, they made the playoffs 2 years ago, but they did show that they had some pieces there that could work out potentially if they had the right person in charge, such as Matt Ryan. We can hope that he goes. So for the Titans, I'll swap them out, put the Colts up there. As far as the Raiders go, I don't know if it all fits together. We're going to have to see if that connection between Derek Carr and Devontae Adams is still there from college. And if it is, then hopefully it works out. Darren Waller, another guy that's over there, that tight end that no one can seem to guard.
great
There's a
guy.
chance that maybe someone figures that out. Linebackers are becoming much like defensive backs, except taller and bigger. They are able to move and stay with tight ends much better than they used to be able to. So if I do drop the Raiders out, I'd probably have to put the Chargers in, seeing as they're in the same division. And I think the Chargers are going to come back with a vengeance. They're really going to want to make a stand over there. Um, the Patriots, I'll probably have to drop them out as well. And the people I'd put in there are either the Dolphins or the Broncos. Seeing they added new pieces. The Dolphins, again, Tua, maybe not the greatest quarterback, but I think that they can pull through this year. They added that new piece, the over the top. They're really going to have to watch out for that because we all know that Tyreek can blow the lid off any defense he wants. And as far as the Broncos go, if Russ cooks, Russ cooks. They could definitely make it up inside there. The Steelers, new quarterback, new faces, lost Juju, lost Ben. They seem to be in a rebuilding phase. At least one could hope that they're finally in a rebuilding phase after the past 20 years. I'll put the Browns in for them. As far as the Ravens go, they're always in the mix, but we just got to see what happens with that Lamar Jackson issue.
Right, right. I mean, I was looking at it too, and I'll say the Chargers and the Broncos were two teams that I left out that were it was hard for me. And the Broncos is just because Russell Wilson is new. Uh, yes, he's Russell Wilson, but hey, this is still his first year on the team. I can't just give that to him. I can't just be like, oh yeah, they're shooing. And the Chargers, I think they have a great chance, but I don't know. I just something about them, man.
Sometimes you get that feeling, like with me and the Bengals. You just kind of get that gut feeling, kind of have to go with it.
I think they're good, but I just don't think it's gonna work out for them. I want to talk about the Ravens a little bit, man. Like, I mean, okay, Lamar Jackson comes out, he's hot, he's on fire, nobody can guard him. Next year, sophomore slump. I I don't know if they do you think they can turn this around?
I think they can as long as he doesn't suffer any more injuries like he did last year. Last year, as we know, he was out for, I want to say, about 4 games. And during those 4 games, the backup did quite well, but it wasn't good enough. The Lamar Jackson speed wasn't there that you normally see. Defenses didn't have to prepare as much for the quarterback position as they normally do, and the dual threat that Lamar brings to that team. I think that the Ravens can definitely start to make amends, almost kind of build themselves back up. But now you run into the problem of who's he going to throw the ball to? How is he going to throw the ball? Is he going to be better this year than he was last year? Anything within 5 to 20 yards, he's on the mark. Once he starts going downfield, you get into a little more of a dicey situation out there. That's going to be a little rough. And again, they play in the hardest division in football, AFC North. They got to go through the Bengals and Browns twice, and then also play division rivals Steelers twice. And even though the Steelers might not be that great, they could always be another dark horse that comes through and wins the AFC North. Hate to see it, hate to say it, but it definitely could be something.
I'm not too set on the Steelers rebuilding. I don't think Mike Tomlin and the crew over there is content with that. I think they're gonna try and continue rolling on. As much as us and the rest of everyone else in the league would like to see them just calm down a
Just like
little
last
bit,
year.
rebuild.
Of
Come
course,
on.
yeah. Please enter a rebuilding phase. Quit doing this.
Guess they don't
Every
need it.
year they just reload and keep going.
All right, you got anything else
Uh,
for AFC, or should we roll on over to NFC?
I don't see anything else as far as the AFC goes. I think that's all my notes on that. As far as the NFC goes, the teams that did make it were the Packers, the Buccaneers, the Cowboys, the Rams, the Cardinals, the 49ers, and somehow the Eagles.
Man said somehow.
Unexpected. So who do you have? Who do you have that you don't think is going to make it this year?
Let's see. I've got an asterisk on the Cards and
Yep.
the Eagles.
Oh, only two this time.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say the Bucks just because I'd love to see Tom Brady just fall into the dirt of nothingness because I'm
All
still
of us would
hurt.
like to see that.
But nah, he's gonna be great. At first I was thinking the 49ers, but then I thought about you know late season, and while they didn't get where they wanted to go, they were still playing really good ball. And on top of that, they're playing really good ball, losing starters left and right.
And we're dropping like flies. It seems every year they run into a running back issue, and they always seem to find the running back to replace him.
It seemed like they were picking somebody up from like off the street, man.
Basically, either guys I've never even heard of running for 150 yards a game.
Yeah. Now the two teams I have on deck in the NFC are the Saints and the Vikings. I think the Vikings are they're either on par with or definitely better than the Eagles, and I definitely think that they can mollywop them out. The Saints, it's hard for me to say the Saints because I do not like Jameis Winston. I'm not gonna say I don't like him. I don't think he's the greatest quarterback that you could have in that situation. But I'm not gonna take anything away from him and his career stats and the games that he's won. And honestly, the Saints have a good thing going with him, so I think that keeps them relevant in the NFC. But I'll switch it over to you.
Yeah. The teams that I don't have, or at least possibly couldn't, starting off, and this is going to be a wild one, but the Packers, they seem to just be falling apart. Aaron Rodgers
The
yet again
Packers?
comes back. They're missing Devontae Adams at this point in time. They're playing in a division that's getting better every single year. That's starting to catch up with them. You got to look at the Bears. If they can get some more line inside there, they could be a threat. The Vikings, obviously. The Lions, Dan Campbell is a menace, and hopefully he puts together a better game plan than he did for this past year, going 1-16 with the Lions. So I really do think that the Packers have a chance at losing their hold on the NFC North. There's definitely a chance that they could fall out. Maybe the Vikings surpass them. Maybe the Bears will be the surprise of the season, and they'll end up surpassing them. So for the Packers, I'm going to have to put the Vikings in for them.
Okay.
The next one I have is the Cowboys. The Cowboys are always a question mark. And the only reason why they get in is because their division is so bad. The Eagles are always just there. They're just there. It looks as though they're not even trying half the time. The Commanders just got a new identity. Maybe they'll be able to turn things around. They don't really have a quarterback. It's going to be up in the air as far as they go. And then you got to look at the Giants. Thank you. Good God. The Giants. The Giants are another team that they just left my mind. I couldn't even think of them. That's how bad they are. They have no quarterback. Their running back, Saquon Barkley, has never been the same since he got injured. They don't have any wide receivers. They don't have a tight end. They don't have an offensive line. And their defense is abysmal. They're going to be bottom of the barrel inside that division yet again. The next one I have is the Cardinals, and only because Kyler Murray, we're not sure what's going to happen with him.
I've got an update for you.
Not?
I've got an update.
Yeah.
He actually showed up to OTAs today to play.
Oh, he did show up.
Yeah, he showed up. He didn't talk to the media or anyone because obviously he didn't want to answer those questions.
Oh, of course. Yeah, he doesn't want to answer those at all.
But well, yeah, apparently he's back with the team. Yeah.
I'll keep the Cardinals in for now. 49ers is one that's still up in the air. Every year it seems to change. Is Jimmy going to be the starter? Is Trey Lance going to be the starter? No one seems to know. From inside reports for the 49ers, it seems like Trey Lance still isn't ready. They've given him plenty of time, but he just can't seem to get down reading the defense. And also, this playbook, I guess, is just a little bit too hard for him. So we'll have to see where Trey Lance goes with that. And then finally, the Eagles. The Eagles are, like I said, they're just there. They're a team that they snuck in somehow because the NFC is really not that good. And I think I'm on board with you in saying that the Saints do have a chance. to come out of their division, and maybe even the Eagles get knocked out. And I think that the Saints might be able to find their way, weasel their way into the playoffs.
I mean, even if you don't, if you just look at just the way that the Saints are carrying themselves about this offseason, how they've been going about the players they've been getting, their draft class, they're making it look as if they're prepping to go deep. And I mean, looks is everything in the beginning. Look good, feel good, play good. So if their roster
It's
looks
true.
good,
It could all be a facade as well. Maybe they're just putting this on so that they can sell more season tickets or something. We'll have to see how that pans out for them over there.
I definitely think that their biggest question mark is quarterback, in the sense of,
Yes.
can Jameis Winston keep going in the right direction for them?
Can he play up to how he's supposed to play? Can he play like he was when he was in college? Can he stop throwing interceptions? Can he stop
That's
fumbling
that's
the
my
ball?
that's my biggest gripe with him. Is like, who cares if you can throw 50 touchdowns if you're throwing 50 interceptions, man?
Exactly. He seems to be the guy that wants to be Mr. Hero. He wants to make that big play every play. And sometimes as a quarterback, you kind of have to just sit back and take what the defense gives you. If you have to throw a little 2-yard, 3-yard underneath, then that's what you have to do. As long as the ball keeps moving forward and you keep it in your hands, you should be fine.
Definitely. Most definitely.
Do you have anything else for the NFC?
I wish the Falcons could be there, but I'm not even gonna lie to myself. And who would I knock out? Yeah, you know what? I think actually I'm gonna take the Rams out, and I'm pretty sure the Falcons got that.
Okay, yes, we'll go ahead and go with that. Put money on it, people. You heard it here first. Thomas Coltrain is telling you to take the Rams out. They're not making it to the playoffs. Put your bets down now.
My whole podcast is on fire. That's it. I've been canceled.
It's gone. Over. They canceled.
Before I even posted it, man. Oh, yeah. Computer just dropped the whole file. That's it.
It doesn't agree with it. It doesn't like it. It hates it. Oh God. Jesus.
I guess Super Bowl prediction. We're gonna take the Hail Mary here.
Oh, I love doing this early in the off season. Way too early a prediction for who's going to make the Super Bowl. The AFC, that's one that's going to be very, very tough to decide over there. I'd like to say that it would be between the Bills and the Chargers, and I'm going to have to take the Chargers on this one. I think that they have it complete, and I think they're going to come back and they're going to wreak havoc on the AFC. I think that they can beat out the Chiefs. I think that they can beat out the Raiders. I think they can continue to win as well over there, even though Russell Wilson was picked up by the Broncos and they do have to deal with that. I think they can come out on top in that division, and I think that they can continue that winning streak.
Okay. I mean, I'm definitely on you with the same page. I think it's down to either I had it in between Bills and KC. You make a good point for the Chargers, and I still don't know what it is. There's just some feeling. There's something in the wind about them that I'm just thinking like yes, they're a good team. They're an elite team, but I just see them falling apart at some point.
That is fair. They could fall apart at any time.
But so your pick for AFC is Chargers.
Away. My pick is Chargers. I'm going to stick with them.
All right, I'll lead off NFC. Looking at it, you know what? I'm going to stay with my boys, the Rams. My Georgia Bulldog, Matt Stafford at the helm, got his first ring. Definitely deserves more, at least another one. So I got the Rams bringing it back. And my pick for AFC, I don't know if I said it. My pick for AFC is Bills. So for my Super Bowl prediction, I got Bills versus Rams.
And I've got the Chargers and the Rams. I think you make a good argument for the Rams. I don't think that there's any point in time during this offseason where I said, wow, this does not look like it's going to be good. Every piece that they've lost, every single move that's been made has been made to get them to the Super Bowl and keep them in winning contention. And I think they've kept up with that in the offseason. So as long as everything can stay as it was, the connection between Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford, that should stay there, if not get better. Good fantasy pickup, by the way. Cooper Kupp, you might see him go in the first or second round at this point. So there's definitely a chance that you could see a matchup between the Chargers and the Rams in the Super Bowl.
Okay. I'm digging with it. Well, I mean, I think that might be a good time as ever. Do you have any other topics you want to hit on? Anything?
I have nothing else. I've run out of notes.
run out of notes. That's where we're gonna end it tonight. Thank everyone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. It's definitely a work in progress, so we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep driving. Make sure we just keep improving and keep trying to get better every single time. Thank you for listening, Clay. I'll let you close it out.
I just want to say thanks for having me on the show. It's been great. I can't wait to do this next week. Hopefully, we'll have a bit better way of moving from segment to segment. Then we'll have a little more ordered structure. We'll have to see how that goes. But this has been wonderful. It's been great. I hope you guys continue to listen.
Yes, sir. Y'all take it easy.